Rapping with Dr. JACALYN connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV, and hello to our friends at Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is Celebrate Great Britain, Royally Rich Show. Would you believe that I have the absolute pleasure of working with two legends who are here with us today, the stars of our show, helping us celebrate the two wonderful countries of the United States of America and the United Kingdom, the businesses, the communities, and the tourism, and the wonderful experiences that we get to share with each other and our countries. Let's bring out HELENA, CHARD, and Ian Pelham Turner. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Oh, what an introduction.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Thank you.
I'm not sure whether we're legends, probably more leg ends at the moment.
Well, it is just a joy and a pleasure to see you each and every week. So I'm really grateful for that. And you brought another amazing guest who I just had the chance of chatting with backstage. So you know all the best people.
Thank you.
We try.
Fabulous guest. Fabulous guest.
And today she's, I met this lady and she won't mind me sort of saying, she helped me look after a group of 9-year-old girls at a tea party recently. And she kept them well in order. So she's probably going to keep me in order this afternoon.
I remember you mentioning about the tea party. Okay, so now it's all coming together. Fantastic.
Yeah, really fun.
So I know there's always a lot going on over there. What do you have in the way of news for us?
There's been so much going. I mean, there's been lots going. But I'm going to actually. There's something small that's not necessarily related to here. But myself and Ian were just talking about it. So there's a man in Bosnia-Herzegovina who's actually built a house on like a rotating plinth. So the house rotates, and the reason for it is apparently his wife couldn't decide which view she wanted from each window. So the house rotates. The quickest I think it is something like 24 seconds, which would be ridiculous doing a full circle. And the longest it takes is 24 hours. But the thing that made me think about it is one, why? Completely mad. I think the wife also constantly was changing the decor and moving sofas around constantly, and he wanted that to stop. But I'm very interested to see and hear what our guest thinks about this, because I have my own thoughts. Apart from bonkers, I have my own thoughts on that. But I just found that tickled me. It's a really funny thing. Can you imagine?
Yes, believe it or not, I've actually been to two restaurants where the restaurant rotated. So one of them's in New York, and it was the Marriott. I don't know if it's still there or not. And the other one is Philadelphia, and it's not there anymore. It was called the Top of Center Square. And so you'd be eating at your table, and you're moving, but I didn't really like it, especially if you had to go to the restroom or something. It's very confusing, and I'm sure it cost a fortune to put that in.
I think it does. I mean, I had a similar experience in Albania. And basically this, you rotate round, you go to your table and you rotate round and you have to finish by the time the entrance comes back round again 70 minutes later. So it's their way of making sure that all the tables are used constantly all the time as well. So it's a clever notion, isn't it?
It is, except that there's a problem with the motor. so I don't know, but to have that for a house, I don't know what I think about that.
I have my thoughts, but anyway, I think another thing he was saying, the good thing about it is if you see guests arriving and you don't really want them to turn up, you can sort of pivot, so you can change the front door around to the back. I mean, goodness, can you imagine?
Oh, we didn't see you coming.
I think what men have to do for their wives.
Oh,
that's all I can say. What men have to do for their wives.
I think we need to move swiftly on. I don't know when we start talking like that, honestly. So I mean, there's lots of fun things going on. There's been lots of royal things. One thing that was great that we saw on TV recently, I would have loved to have been at the event. Funnily enough, it was at Ali Pali, which is something like 10 minutes from me, Alexandra Palace, which is where the BBC first, I think we had TV was from there. But so we've been talking about, Dr. JACALYN, the Ambitious Earthshot Prize, and it was the first awards ceremony, which was just a few days ago. So the Duke of Cambridge, Duke and Duchess of Cambridge was there. It was a fantastic affair. Coldplay was playing. I love Coldplay. And they had, I mean, it's all to do with the earth and obviously healing the earth. And they had an interesting concept of lots of people on these pedal bikes, you know, that were racing. And they were in fact generating the electricity so that Coldplay could play and entertain people. So that was fun. But it was such an amazing, it was fantastic. It was really heartwarming. They looked fabulous. Duke of Cambridge was wearing this beautiful green jacket, which I think Ian, you should wear. But they gave out.
I can't wear his jacket.
No, but what you should get something similar, because honestly, it was stunning. I wish we had a picture to show. It was a beautiful, beautiful jacket. But also, giving the awards to these people that so deserve it. Next year, the baton's been held in the USA, so that should be fun. So that's where it's taking place.
Can I just say something about Prince William? Do you know, I've never seen Prince William before. I mean, sometimes he'll wear, you know, shirts and jeans, but I've never seen him wear what's known as a Mandarin collar jacket before. And I think there is a new change in the style. It's something we will watch. There's a new change in the style of what he's going to wear. So who is dressing him now? Who is styling now? I think he's got a new stylist.
Wow.
Sounds like that's possible. I have two comments. The first is, if Ian were to get the green jacket, he could be mistaken for someone who's won the Masters. Don't they wear green jackets at the Masters golf tournament?
Well, do you know what? I have this beautiful maroon jacket, velvet jacket that goes to award ceremonies. And do you know what? I've only been invited to one award ever. It's only ever been ever worn once, and I'm dying. So if there's anyone out there who wants to take me to an award ceremony, you know, I'll be the plus one. I don't mind.
I love that. That's great. Helena, I also wanted to just ask a question. So the Earthshot Prize, when we play that clip and then at the end it says coming soon. So it's actually just happened.
It just happened literally in the last few days.
Amazing.
So that's the beginning. We've got 10 years. It's 5 awards that are handed out each year. The people that win also win £1 million to roll everything out. So we've got 10 years of that. So it's really exciting, and honestly, the talent we have, people are just amazing. You know, it's complete. The thing that made me think, goodness, I didn't realize that a third of the food in our world is wasted. 1/3. And obviously then it's the green gases when trying to get rid of it, which is huge carbon footprint. We could sort of do a whole show just on the award ceremony, which is amazing. But
gases.
No, not gases. But it really is something else. It's definitely worth a watch. It's great. And there's been lots of things going. I think another thing as well that I just want to mention, because it's something we have here in the UK, it's the Oldie of the Year Awards. TOOTY is TOOTY. Now, I know it sounds a bit strange, but it's the magazine's annual award ceremony. Slightly tongue-in-cheek, and we have some of our most fabulous elder people who've achieved things. No, Ian's not actually been invited as yet. I'm sure that will be next year, Ian. But you have Lifetime Achievement Awards. I know that Camilla Parker Bowles, I think, was there and attended. But the funny thing about it is Her Majesty the Queen. They wanted to give Her Majesty the Queen an award. But she was, I can't remember the exact wording, but she just said, you know, you're as young as you feel, and she didn't feel that this award would be suitable for her, which really made me chuckle. I think it's lovely. But also she's saying she's young at heart, she feels young. That made me feel really happy.
I mean, sometimes meeting the Queen can be a bit awkward as well, because a few years ago, the Royal Air Force in Britain was having its centenary. And I got asked whether I would like to come and talk at a very special event about all the things that happen within the royal family. And they said, and there's going to be a special guest. And I said, okay, that's fine. And I agreed to doing this. And about 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, I said, well, who's the special guest? And I said, well, we can't really tell you who's the special guest. And then someone whispered to me, it's the Queen. And I thought, the last thing I'm going to do is go and put my head on the block, start telling all the funny stories about the Queen, and the Queen is there. So my knighthood will go out the window.
And you both have met the Queen. What is that experience like?
You go, Ian.
She's great. I mean, in actual fact, everybody admires the Queen, you know, because quite honestly, she has stoically, for 70 years now, been on the throne. She has gone through all sorts of trials and tribulations as well. And I think, quite honestly, these days, everybody admires the Queen in Great Britain, and I think across the world as well. And she's quite funny, you know. She's a great photographer as well. She loves taking photographs at the same time. So, you know, the times when I've met her, you only get a few seconds even if you're talking to her. Or with me, she just brushes past me, you know, just gives me a sort of a mournful look and off that.
She goes, oh, it's him again. No, I'm kidding.
No, she's so funny. She's very funny. Great sense of humor.
And you brought up something that's on another show, our travel show. We were talking about going to the UK. And so I want to make my plans for my trip. And apparently there's a big celebration because the Queen is going to be celebrating 70 years on the throne. That's
right. The actual 4-day event, 5-day event is in June. But it starts, it starts with me the 1st of January. No, it doesn't.
Well, there is some truth in it, that it actually is a celebration the whole year.
It is. I think in reality, the celebrations start, I think in February, and they go on through the year as well. I mean, the idea behind it, and it's a great idea, and I was at a meeting yesterday where we were discussing things like that, and where all the communities, irrespective of their skin color, religion, or so forth, would actually come together to celebrate this great occasion. So it's going to be one of those occasions which bring communities together, and boy, do we need it right now.
That is for sure. Well, I'm excited to be a teeny little part of that when I travel over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. We have to. Fanfare. We've got a party, and we will.
Definitely. So I'm wondering if you have more news, or if we should run the Earthshot video.
I think, let's run the Earthshot video, because it's really inspiring. I think just because it started and we're well into it, we're all basically going to work towards finding solutions to the world's environmental challenges. So yeah, let's watch it, I think.
Okay. We'll play it right now, and then we'll be back and bring out our guest.
Woo!
Excellent.
Here we go.
Ours is a world of wonder. Every day it reminds us of its beauty. It touches us, teaches us, and astounds us. But it also warns us that what we throw away does not go away. That higher temperatures mean a lot more than longer summers. That we can no longer take life as we know it for granted. We are at a unique stage in our history. Never before have we had such an awareness of what we are doing to the planet. And never before have we had the power to do something about that. We face
and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. We are celebrating our 25th episode of Celebrate Great Britain Royally Rich Show today. Did you know that?
Yay!
Yay!
And thank you from the two of us, because you've inspired us and you've created sort of something that is being seen as a lot of great value in Britain now as well. So thank you.
It is great value.
And I know how hard it is, Dr. JACALYN, to do things like this. And so well done you as well.
Well, listen, if it weren't for you reaching out, we wouldn't be where we are today. So it's, I have to say thank you back. I have to put it back to you. Thank you. And yesterday we had this seminar and Helena was there. And I said, I have to thank both of you because many of the people who were there yesterday were as a result of introductions from you guys. So thank you so much.
Well, I wish I was there myself. I was in this very boring meeting yesterday afternoon I came away from it thinking very despondent views on what is Britain all about at the moment. But anyway, that is besides the
ours
point.
certainly wasn't. Our seminar was really very, very fantastic,
Excellent.
Inspiring, and it certainly wasn't boring, was it, Dr. J? It was really great.
No, it was it was the power of listening, the union of breath, voice, and listening skills. And Madeline Chan and I co-facilitated, and people got emotional, and I think there were some breakthroughs for a couple of people there. So we'll be doing it again, and I'm really excited that you were there, Helena. And Ian, we'll have to have you as well.
Yeah, well, I'll be there soon. Anyway, we better move swiftly on because we have this afternoon the most fantastic guest. She is the most fantastic leader of children's parties I've ever seen in my entire life. But bless her heart, she is the most fabulous lady in herself, MARITES Allen. Now, MARITES was born the 10th child of 14 children in Cebu in the Philippines. And she's known how to overcome struggles in her life. And she's now become a major business person, really globally. But she's also known as the queen of Feng Shui. So I hope MARITES would like to come on and we can talk to her about all the things that she's doing right now.
Let's bring her out. Hi, welcome.
Hi. Oh my gosh. What a great honor to be here on your show, Dr. JACALYN, Helena, and Ian. Thank you for the great pleasure to be here.
It's our pleasure.
Very welcome.
Okay.
And congratulations on your 25th episode. And today is the anniversary. Wow, that is something. That is something.
It's when we go for 25 years, MARITES. That's when.
Why
Please
not?
God. Please God.
Congratulations, guys. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
MARITES, let's start off. I know you've gone through many life-changing events, some major events at the start of your early life. Can you tell us a little bit about your early life and your early experiences, please?
Well, I came from a family of 14, like what you said, and I'm number 10. And as far as I can remember, my elder siblings cannot get married if they have not sent their younger siblings to school. So that was like sort of how our family was like established. So it is very important for us to finish school because my parents did not or cannot give us anything except education. So that was really how we were brought up. So it's in a very, very small town in the Philippines. You must have heard of the Philippines. We are a place of a very beautiful country with, we said there are 7,000 islands when it's, high tide, and it's 7,107 islands when it's low tide. So, we're full of beaches and everything. So traditionally, my father works in the military then. So every time he comes home, my mother is pregnant. That's why we are 14. And then it was, I would say, a difficult time. But when it's your life, it becomes your reality. It is what it is at that time. So I remember we live in this very small place with only 2 bedrooms, And I oftentimes, my space when I sleep was in a bench, is in a chair. That's honestly, even to this day, 45 years after, I still kept that particular chair. No, it's 55 years after that particular bench that I was using as my bed. I kept it as a family heirloom because it gives us the reminder of where I came from, the difficulty that I had to hurdle over the years. So basically, it's a very small town in the Philippines. And then, we would go for during our summer break. It's not like people traveling, anywhere, but it's really like you have to go to the farm, help the family in the farm so that you can earn money, and then you can use that for your tuition fees for the following semester. So that's basically how our life is. Back then.
Marites, I feel inspired already. I feel so inspired. Thank you. I can the story's panning out. I love that. Now I've heard that your life changed after you read this article in an Australian magazine.
Yes.
Can you tell us how that panned out?
Yes, so basically, prior to that as well, there were two major tragedies in my life. I lost my mother in a tragic accident. The boat was caught on fire. That was one of the world's worst maritime disaster. There's over like 300 people who died on that incident. And then I was having trouble with my marriage then. I had three very small kids, and it ended up in separation, and I was annulled from my first marriage. So I moved to a bigger city in the Philippines, and there I started my life. And because of the information I got from this magazine, Australian magazine, it's called A New Idea magazine. I had been following like how to enhance your life if you want to have a good career, if you want to be healthy, if you want to have a successful relationship. And honestly, because of that, it's just like I would say, it's like an internal information that I was gathering because I read a lot. I do read a lot. And that's what I had been applying on. And amazingly, it has changed my life as well.
It's incredible what a journey that you've had. And I'm wondering, and I hope I say it correctly, how would you describe, I'm going to say Feng Shui, but I think that's wrong.
Okay, Feng Shui, it's fine.
How would you describe it and the values associated with it?
Well, basically, a lot of people said that I don't understand Feng Shui. I don't even follow, or I don't know what Feng Shui is. So this is how it goes. Whether one believes on it or not, we are surrounded by Feng Shui. So Feng Shui has been around for nearly 5,000 years? If there was no truth to it, it would have just faded away. So basically, just even like us right now, everyone has to remember there are 5 elements in Feng Shui. The elements of, say, water. Water elements are colors black, blue, and gray. Isn't it that you guys are wearing the colors, right? The black, the blue, and the gray. You have that in your outfit right now. Water element is what we do. We take a shower in the morning. We have our cup of tea. The rivers, the oceans, the rains are water elements. And then you have what do you do after shower? You dry yourself with towel. You clothe yourself. That is actually made of wood. So that's wood element. The tables, the beds, the chairs are made of wood elements. The colors are greens and browns. And then you have the fire element. Fire elements are colors red and pink or purple. My lipstick is pink. Colors red are fire elements. We use fire to cook our food. Right now, I am in Italy. Ian and Helena are in England, and Dr. JACALYN is in the US. Without the power of electricity or the fire elements, we wouldn't be, connected with each other. So that is fire elements. So the other one is metal elements. These are like colors white, gold, silver, the accessories I wear. These are metal element, the jewelries. The structures we use for the building, the laptops that we are using right now, the cell phones are made of metal elements. And then we have the wood elements. Wood elements are, the flowers, the trees are wood elements. And then we have, finally is the earth element. These are color creams and beige. I have a bit of cream colors here. These are like the earth that we put our plants, or we plant our flowers as well. And then earth could be like the gemstones, the jewelries are earth elements. So whether one believes on feng shui or not, we are surrounded by all the 5 elements, and our attitudes, our emotions, our energies are dictated by it every day of our life. So we wake up in the morning and say, how do I look with the way I dress? Or how do I look with particular structure, for example? So the 5 elements are embedded in us, whatever we do in life. So that is feng shui. That is energy. So I hope
It's fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Marie, just when you started doing the Feng Shui, life changed for you. You came to Manila, the capital of the Philippines. You got a job as a business center manager at the Pacific Star, and you were still with 3 children as well. How did you manage it, and how did Feng Shui really change to give you that better life that you were looking for?
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Ian. When that question is raised to me, deep inside of my heart, it's still like, it's so vividly implanted into my head. I don't know how I made it and I get there, but I can remember instantly that on a daily basis, I would have to leave my 3 kids in my neighbor. She is actually like a washing lady. So I can leave my 3 kids so she can look after them. So I can go to my job every day. Then I go back again at night. I would collect my 3 children, prepare them for the next day, so I can bring them back again to them. So that was my life. So I was really forcing myself to do both, to juggle all this, because that was my condition in ending my marriage. It was not very, very healthy marriage. I said, you can have everything in life, you can take it, but I'm gonna have the kids with me. And I only had 3 kids then, and I have only $100 in my worldly possession. And honestly, I don't know how I made it. It's about 5,000 pesos at the time, or $100 with 3 small kids. So that was my life. And then I was really doing my very best to be a very good manager. And the owners of the company really liked me a lot. So they were promoting me to a better job. They were increasing my salary. Therefore, I can now have I was able to manage to get a nanny for my kids, move to a better place. And I've been following feng shui. Okay, this is the best way to face my prosperity. I have to face that direction. When I sleep at night, I have to make sure that my head is pointing to my lucky direction. I would wear clothes that is my favorite color. Like green is my wealth element. So I am never without green color, because that's my wealth element. All of us, if you give me your date and time of birth, you have your own lucky color. And I said, for what I had been before, I don't want to go back to that life anymore. I want to be better. So that's why I was really doing feng shui. And of course, I found my love, my second love, my finale love in that business center. So it was good.
Wow. I mean, Marites, you have done incredibly well. You now have global recognition, which is phenomenal. So you're giving advice to presidents and global tycoons. Goodness me, after everything, but all your efforts have paid off. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, well, one time when I had to give an advice to the late president, Corazon Aquino, she was very sick at the time. So I was very close to her daughter, Chris. So one of the incident was I had to, like tell her what is the most critical time for the former president then. So I had to make an analysis, and then I gave to them 3 sets of dates. And I said, these are the possible date that could, maybe her energy is really, really bad at the time. And guess what? The date that I highlighted, August 1, was actually the date that she died. So, I wasn't saying that, I believe, of course, we are not God. We are just there to provide, informations for this. But when it happened, it was really like amazing. Like when I handed the report, I said, these are the critical dates for your mom. And I highlighted for some reason August 1, and then that happened. And then immediately after that, there was a lot of clamor for the son, uh, which sadly passed on a couple of months ago, to also run for presidency. So I was responsible in providing auspicious dates. When is he gonna declare his candidacy? What date and time, and auspicious colors as well, and many more. So I have had the opportunity to give advice to political people, to celebrities, business people as well. It's very exciting because whoever they are just like us. They are just like but human beings that they also need guidance. That is why I would like to reiterate that Feng Shui is not really just for the rich and famous. Feng Shui is for everybody. If rich and famous people are already abiding into the rules of Feng Shui or guidance, how much more than ordinary people? So I would say I walk the talk because I've been there. I knew how difficult it was to be on your own. I know how difficult it is to have no money, no resources. But if you just put your heart into something and, always wake up, always have that drive and passion, and always have a purpose in your life, because that's really what drives you um, to achieve your goal.
Thank you so much for your authenticity. I'm just trying to imagine you with 3 children and $100, and look at you now, what you've accomplished. It's amazing. So thank you for inspiring other people.
Yeah, I really don't know how I made it. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of emotions. There was a lot of, I would have ended my life because, it was so difficult. But then every time I look at my 3 kids, I said, what's going to happen to them? And, the youngest then, Helena, Ian, and Dr. JACALYN, my youngest then was 6 months old. The second was only 1 year old, and the eldest was about 2. And fast forward to present, the eldest now is actually, he's into this, he just won an award. That's why I was in Dubai last week. He's creating an app for NFTs, non-fungible tokens. The Bitcoin and the cryptos. He just won the best Dubai Crypto Expo. That's why I was there last week. And then my second son now is in England as well. He is now a data scientist. And the third one is now on her second year medicine. So I said, looking at them, I said, oh my God, can you imagine if I gave up? So to those who are watching us right now, never lose hope. I would say, to be honest with you, like programs like this, you have to keep watching, because this is where you can get all this information. So I have been watching self-help, like all those inspirational stories, Tony Robbins, Les Brown. I read books. I'm busy. I'm cleaning the house. I had to, remember in the good old days, you have to play the cassette tapes, all those.
Yes.
That's what I do.
They're all good points. If you surround yourself with positivity and hear other people's stories, then it inspires you to keep going. So I think that's brilliant. By the way, I went over to your website. It is absolutely magnificent. Well done. There's so much good content there, and I just love the flow of it. And now you have a successful fashion retail line called Frigga, which is amazing, and it's rooted in prosperity. So tell us more about that.
Well, when I don't know if I told you how I get into Feng Shui, Dr. Jacqueline. I mean, do we have time though? I'm sorry, I talk a lot, Ian, so I'm sorry about this. But you know what I was telling you, that I was managing the business center then. So my bosses were so happy with me. So they even sponsored my schooling because I wanted to take up my MBA. So I was having these 3 kids, running the business center, and I took up my business degree. At the same time, I said, okay, I've done it all. I have done everything. Maybe it's time for me to find my love. So I was like putting all these lucky charms and everything. I was following all these directions. And then somebody, one of our clients in the business center really was pursuing me. And I said, you know what? I'm not special. I'm an ordinary person. I have kids, and you know what he said? I don't really care whether you have none or 50 kids. I still love you the same. I said, oh my gosh, it's like a Feng Shui really works. So anyways, fast forward, he brought us to England. And then when his mother saw my 3 kids, and they look Asian, they're very different. And they just love, my parents-in-law just love my kids. Said, these are my grandchildren. And then my husband took us to Covent Garden, Helena. And in Covent Garden, there is this like Chinese boutique shop they sell books. And then one of the books that I took out from the shelf, when I opened the book, it has the picture of Philippine President Ramos, an interview from Reuters press agency saying that the Philippine President Ramos listened to the advice of a geomancer to cut the 2 trees flanking Malacanang Palace because it stops the flow of energy. And why is the Philippine peso 500 bill is very bad for the country? It has 13 stars, 13 people. The number 500 appeared 13 times. And I said, oh my God, I'm in London and I'm looking at this, like my president here. So I saw it as a sign that therefore I said, okay, this is now my time to really venture into this prosperity item. So I believe that we keep wearing clothes anyway, but it doesn't have any meaning. So I went to the London College of Fashion, and I said, okay, if Donna Karan is going to be, has the 4 seasons, I said, Marites Allen's going to be launching like every month, Lucky Charms. So that's how I started with, like infinity, like this is like the mantra rings. If I want to make a wish, it's very important for my contract signing here. So I said, okay, I hope that everything's going to work fine and everything. So this is just some of the many things that we do for our Lucky Charms. So that's how it started.
And you've got beautiful items over there on the website. There's a few things that I'm interested in getting myself. So
everything, we have so many. We have so many like fashionable items. I'll ship something to you guys.
You're so sweet. Thank you for sharing all of that. And by the way, I know personally, I don't know about you two, but I'm going to take you up on your offer. I'm going to give you my birth date so you can tell me what my color is.
Yes. And not only that, colors, directions. You can even have like, when is the best time to meditate if you want to ask for money or good health. These are things, these are energies that is just there for us. And you're so right, Dr. Jacqueline. When you're surrounded by very positive people, and then, you just manifest it to you as well. That's what I have been doing. So these are like incredible, host right now. I am so like honored to be on your show. So when Ian told me, Marites, really, I'm going to go on your show, please. So I canceled all my trips. I said I had enough of the vineyard visit. All is fine. I said I have to be here.
We're so happy you're here. And by the way, we have 2 comments, and I looked it up. This is my mother. Great video. Thanks, Mom. She's downstairs. That's awesome. And we have John C. Live. Hi. Hello, John. Nice to have you.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Thank you.
So, Marites, I know you put a lot of energy into your marriage as well. And I found that very endearing, because your husband travels right across the world. He's a top businessman like you are a top business lady. But you always try to make sure you're never more than a few days away from each other at any one time. So tell us about your philosophy of marriage and tell us how this has really changed your life for the better as well.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ian. Did I tell you as well that, when I was, when my husband like really said, okay, these are like the second marriage for me, right? So it's really like something very special. And what he did was he had to impose like a 15-day limits. So either that we cannot be apart for more than 15 days. So either if he has to go away for more than 15 days, then I have to join him, or he will have to follow me, or I will have to follow him. So that's had been our formula ever since. And I would say, I think, this is really about trust. You just trust, and then you just have to be open up with each other. One thing I have to also share with you, Ian, and guys, about my marriage life was that when the time that my husband and I decided to get married, I had to consult a Feng Shui master. And this Feng Shui master, because I want to like validate this relationship, so I went to this very, very senior Feng Shui master in the Philippines, maybe about 70-year-old guy. And he told me that depending on, because I was showing our birth data, he said, oh, you are never compatible. If you do get married, you're going to separate. And this is like a Chinese guy. He said, no marriage. And I was like shattered. I was like crying. I said, how could this be? This guy really is like, loves me and loves my kids so much. And this Feng Shui master is telling me that you are never going to be together. And then, you know what? I was crying. I was devastated. And I said to myself, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to be doing exactly what you're doing, and I'm going to be very good at that. So that's how I really pursued to do Feng Shui and to do and do the destiny reading. Because, again, whatever somebody tells you, if it's true, then you can now adjust to it. You can now make amendments to it to make the marriage work. So that's my love story.
I love that. I absolutely love that fighting spirit in you. I think that's fabulous.
No, I was devastated, Helena. I was crying, and he said, I thought I found the man of my dreams. And then this Feng Shui master is telling me, you are not meant for each other. So I defied him. I proved him wrong.
Does he know? Does he know?
Yeah, so now we have been, in fact, my husband and I have been together for 21 years.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Marites, I know as well that Feng Shui, it's a science, isn't it? So I think people think it can be a little bit airy-fairy, but it's definitely a science, so I believe. Can Feng Shui, I don't know whether it's Feng Shui, but I've always said Feng Shui, so I carry on saying that. So can Feng Shui change anyone's life and make them prosperous?
Yes, definitely. Like what I said, I was only telling you about my side of my story, but when I started my Feng Shui career, the consultations I have done with different people, and now we are still here. So I started the business in 2004. So we're running to 17 years now. And, there's even a lot of people ahead of me. So Feng Shui is not magic. It is not a superstition. It is a science. And like what I said, it has been there for many years. And, like the 5 elements that I explained, everything, the colors that you're wearing is water element, the red, accent on Ian's, the tie is red, that's fire elements, Ian is wearing, in fact, three elements now. The color of his shirt is white, that's metal element. The red accent is fire. The black and gray is water elements. So, and many things. So, in the plants behind you is a wood element. And the vase that you put where the flower is, the plant is an earth element. So this is science, however we look at it.
Well, that makes me so happy.
Be happy too.
We happy three.
Yes, beautiful.
I'm a Feng Shui expert by the sound of it.
We have to have a show just on Ian being an expert in that area. That's great.
We can have
We're
so
expert
many.
at last.
There's a bit of a common theme, huh?
Oh my gosh. And in your spare time, I don't know when this is, you've created an incredible app, which is an almanac for travel. First of all, when did you have time to do this? And tell us how we can find it and use it.
Yes, well, it's actually an almanac. An almanac is like a calendar where you can find out when is it a good day to get married, have a baby, if you have problems with collecting money, move house, renovate, travel, what do you want to invest. When do I do it? I actually spend at least 4 months of my time in a year to write my books. So the app that you're going to be seeing actually comes also in a hard copy almanac, like a calendar. So this is like a must-have calendar for Feng Shui followers. So you can download it on Google or App Store at the same time on Android phones. The 2022 almanac is coming up in December, but the hard copy is now available for pre-order. Along with the horoscope books, it is now available on my website, freega.co.uk.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
Thank
Now,
you.
Marites, you believe in 3 different types of luck. So
Uh-huh.
tell us.
Okay, there are 3 types of luck. The first 1/3 is what you call the heaven's luck. This is something that is God-given, preordained, and cannot be changed. I came from a family of 14. I was number 10. Life was very difficult. I cannot change that. It is what the universe has given to me. Same thing with you, Dr. JACALYN, Helena, Ian. You have your own set of destiny. Some people, they are born very wealthy, very good looking. They have everything in life. That is what you call heaven's luck. The first 1/3 or 33%. There's nothing we can do about it. It is God given. The second 1/3 is what you call the mankind luck. This is what you do to yourself. It is because of your actions and decisions. Like, say, for example, today we are all got lazy and said, nah, I have my show today, but I'm too lazy to get up. What's going to happen to your viewers who's been following you every time? Like, every time there is an airing on USA Global TV with you guys, how come they have not shown up today? Because you have building up the momentum. So it's mankind luck. It is what you do. No one is going to do it but you. So on my part, I do not have the heaven's luck. My parents cannot give us anything except education. So we pursued it's our own hard work. The money is not gonna gonna drop from above to be put on, nobody's gonna put food on the table except if you work for it. And the final 1/3 is what you call the earth luck. This is what Feng Shui is all about. So now, okay, Dr. JACALYN, she's got to give me her date and time of birth. Now I can now work out, hey, this is your good luck. When are you going to hit your jackpot? People wants to know if they have hit their jackpot, failed in relationship. When are you going to have more money? What directions can I welcome? Good energy. So that is earth luck. So heaven, earth, and mankind. So on my part, I do not have the heaven's luck. My parents were very poor. I just activated my other 2 lucks, the mankind luck and my earth luck. That Feng Shui master who told me, never get married to this man because you're never going to be together. I activated my mankind luck. It was my own decisions. If my destiny says that the 2 of us is not going to be together, then I used my mankind luck to defy it because Now I can adjust and I work on my marriage to make sure, that it will work. Like what you said, Ian, we have to impose a certain time. Let's not be apart for more than this period to make the relationship work. And yes, it's still going strong as we speak after 21 years.
Is it possible to have all three or have zero or
That is fantastic. Some people, they have the heaven's luck, but you see, some people are very wealthy, but the kids, they gallivant around, they do drugs, they, you know what I mean? They waste all these energies. Some people are just born lucky. They do. They just born lucky, but others don't. I mean, why are there so many? Why is Bill Gates a billionaire? Why is Warren Buffett a billionaire? Why is not the, why are the two of us not billionaire? Because they have a set of special chart. Why is Mark Zuckerberg a billionaire? So they have very special. Their destinies are different from one another. There are even twins. Even twins, they came out from the same time, seconds apart, but they grow up so differently. So it's because of the energy that's surrounding us, like energy that we are exposed to one another. So this feng shui and the three types of luck, plus the five elements that we talk about, whether we put it in a context of like the so-called scientific way of doing it, but because we can feel it, the emotions, we can feel it, right? You wake up in the morning, you just wear something and say, no, I don't really feel good about this. Then you change to another outfit, then you feel better. Sometimes you walk into the same place, oh, this place doesn't suit me so well, when you're looking for a flat to move. Or, even when you're like with friends, you are meeting somebody and that somebody does not even did not do anything with you, but then you just don't like the person. I don't know why, but I don't like the person, because the energy of that person, you already have so much of it. Sometimes marriage fall apart or relationship fall apart, or sometimes because you get so attracted to another person, because that person that you are attracted to has the elements that you need. So all of these are all feng shui.
Marita's, just very quickly, and all of us, I totally believe in what you're saying. I've been lucky all my life. I know I've been lucky all my life. Every time I have an issue, I've always found a way of overcoming an issue. And probably one of the luckiest things, and I've got to say it in front of Helena now, is meeting Helena so many years ago. I was going through a very bad time in my life, and I meet Helena, and that was probably one of the biggest pieces of luck I've ever had in my life.
See?
Oh, what a
And,
nice
and you just become like, you just click it, right? You just like feel it. You
Absolutely.
just feel it. Wow.
Thank
that was
you.
beautiful.
That's sweet,
Thank
Maureen.
you.
Well, I know, Marites, I think there is a certain special something about Mandarin dance. I don't know, but I just have this feeling. And I'm just interested to know how did Mandarin ducks sort of attract your husband? I feel there's a story there. Share with
Yes,
us.
yes, of course. Mandarin ducks actually, they live and die for each other. So Mandarin ducks, these are symbols of good fortune, and basically this image actually represents undying love for each other and commitment. And in reality, if you happen to know or see, a Mandarin ducks, when the other party dies, the other party dies as well. I mean, they have that commitment to each other. And all of these things are actually called the symbols of good fortune. So you can use the Mandarin ducks as an image, especially if it's pink crystals. You can put it in the southwest part of your bedroom. So southwest, my friends, is actually the direction for love and marriage. So if you're a person who's like wanting to enhance a relationship, make sure that your home or your bedroom has a southwest. Sometimes the houses are like L shaped. So when it's L shaped, it loses some of the direction. So just think of a compass. There are always 8 sides of a compass. North, south, east, west is the major direction, and the secondary directions are northeast, southwest, southeast, and northwest. Southwest is the direction for love. So maybe in the next program, we can talk about the different aspirations in life. How do you enhance career, which is the north? How do you enhance fame and popularity, is the south corner of your home? So many, many things that you can do.
Well, that explains a lot. I was just thinking about what you said. I think my bed is facing northeast, whatever. It's the opposite way. So it's no wonder I'm alone all these years. Okay. Now I figured it out.
Yeah.
We have a comment from Mike Armstrong. Nice to have you, Mike, the king of Clubhouse over there. So nice to have you.
Thank you.
So,
I was just wondering because I hear what you said. I don't know which way my bed is facing, but I normally find when I wake up in the morning, I'm laying diagonal. That's Feng Shui working during the night.
Well, people can actually just send me like a floor plan of their homes or their bedrooms, and I can work it out for them. I mean, usually you just give me the address and I do the Google Earth, and I do a lot of consultations across the globe. So it's very common. Like today here in Italy, there is like a 740 acres of property. They're going to be building, I think they're rebuilding some villas as well. So because it's very big for me to visit it, so we just like use the drone to check the directions as well. And it's going to be an exciting project.
That's fascinating.
I just wanted to ask something, if that's okay.
No problem.
I've always been really excited about Feng Shui. It's always appealed to me, but I've never quite grasped it. But I find it exciting, and it betters your life and things like that. And I know I do simple things like, I don't know, opening the windows and doors and just letting the sort of, I don't know, whatever negative energy out. I think there's loads of people that would actually want to know the small little things, what you can do to sort of enhance your life, I think the word.
Yes, that's really a very, very good question. Very simple. I was interviewed by ITV there in England by Phillips and then Holly. So they, how do you enhance your homes in this pandemic? So basically, number one, when you enter into the house, and then we like leave all the shoes and the coats and everything scattered at the entrance. Entrance is the mouth, is the energy. So make sure it's nice and clean. So if you have a shoe box, on the side, put it away there, but do not leave it scattering around, because that is actually the main door entrance, my friends, is very, very important. That's where the good energy goes in. So if it's cluttered, then you are not inviting good energy. In the bedroom, for example, to avoid misunderstanding, between couples, avoid putting a mirror in the bedroom. A mirror that would reflect your bed. It would connote some third party arguments. What else? In the kitchen, we have the knife. The knife. Sometimes you have the blocks of knife. They're better off to be put into the drawers, because knife are like poison arrows. So you cannot display it around. So many things, like what you said, opening the windows from time to time so good energy would come in is also very important. What else? Having a home which is brightly lighted, lit it up nicely is very important. And when you're living on your own, it is important to have like music. Put some energy to it. Don't put some I don't know, if you want to put some Madonna or Mariah Carey, make sure that it's lively, because it actually brings up good energy as well. And many things that you can do as well. Minor things, but yet very important.
Wow, I have 1,000 questions. I have one question that something just happened. May I ask you about it?
No problem.
So I moved during the pandemic, and I have boxes that have been in the garage. And so one of the boxes was filled with shoe boxes. That's all that were shoe boxes with shoes. And so I unpacked all of them, and they were all fine except for 3 pairs of shoes that were in the box. Each had their own box with the paper and everything else. And the soles of them were moldy. They had green molds and they had creatures crawling on them.
Ah.
Now, I'm just wondering from an energy perspective, is that some meaning to me? Is there some like do I need to know something
No,
in
no,
terms?
no. I think it's just one of those, like sometimes maybe the humidity, maybe the weather, change of weather conditions. Usually it just tells you that you just have to let go. So if it tells you something like, what is it that I need to let go? Because sometimes we just keep hanging on to things and we thought, you become so attached to something, whether it's a house, whether it's to someone, whether it's a friend. Sometimes you just have to let go. So those three shoes representing, hey, if you're not listening to me, I might as well do. The universe is telling you, you gotta let go. So whatever it is that you had been holding on for a while, it's time for you to let go. So remember that, women as we are actually the culprit. We have so many bags and shoes and everything. It's always important, especially now that the year end is coming, the year end, December is coming, Chinese New Year's, new beginning. It's always important to, create a new space so that new things could come in again.
But I also know, Dr. Jacqueline, because I read your piece on that as well, and you haven't touched the little creatures on the shoes. And
I know.
your philosophy not to touch anything that's living.
That's true. I got my meditation certification, and one of the things that I had to agree was that I wouldn't kill anything, no matter what it was. So, and that's really hard because I looked at those shoes, and to me, the shoes are all artwork. They're all like one of a, Manola Blahniks, Renee Calville, they're jewels and crystals and whatever. And I thought, how can I just let these go? And I thought, I'm just going to let the creatures live in them and let them go. And then I had the whole thing about sustainability. What exactly am I supposed to do with them? Because where are the shoes going to go with the creatures? Should I plant them in the ground? Like, it was a whole big thing. So I made sure that I kept them in the box and I put them in a bag and I put them in the garage and thought I have to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I think that just like what I said, sometimes we think that, like sometimes when we hang on to something and, instead of give it away or make it like a donation to a museum or something. I mean, one interesting thing that I was just happened a few hours ago was I went to this like museum here. And then I'm telling you, like, this is like a 400-year-old museum. This is like how they were doing the wines in the past. So you can see all these old things. Like, this is like an organization of like 100 small farmers, and they contributed all the things that they have in the past. So it became like a huge museum, which like from the old, things that they use manual labor and how they create the wines then. So, if you go to Egypt, even the British Museum in England, you've seen all those things, right? Like beautiful things like, wow, this is like a history of the past. So, I'm sure one day, Dr. Jacqueline, you're going to have your beautiful, museum of special things.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Of course.
I want to talk a little bit about this durable diaper for babies that you've made. Tell us about this.
Okay, it's incredible. I said to myself at the beginning of pandemic, I said, I'm never going to be involved in any business that, babies, because I already have 4 babies and they're not big. So actually, this is a smart diaper that is smart nappies. And then the mommy, whether you are in England, Philippines, or wherever you are, you can now check on the app whether the baby needs changing already, whether, so it's now timely. It's in fact, if we use it, for example, like in the Philippines, we are already having a hard time looking for nannies for our kids. And for a working woman, it helps you and tells you if the baby already needs changing. And to avoid rushes, it's also biodegradable, so it's helping the environment. At the same time, this is actually very big. In fact, our distributor also has the franchise for the US because we're using it for the elderly. So can you imagine, picture this, like for example, for a nursery with many babies. So how many manpower are you going to use just to make sure and keep checking the person, or the elderly or the baby when they already needed a change. But because of the use of the app and the desktop, you can now see which of this particular person needs changing already. So it's actually it runs on a Bluetooth. You can download the app. It's called Wonder Mom for babies and Wonder Kin or Nice Care Smart for the elderly as well. So the website is wonderkin.co.uk. So the biggest problem, honestly, year by year, is actually the disposal of the diapers. It would take about 300 to 500 years for a single diaper to degrade. So with this new technology now, you uses less diaper, and at the same time, the diaper itself is biodegradable. It has a factor of biodegradability. So it's something special, and I would say that I want to be involved in a business like this, which also has the impact into the nature as well. Helping the nature little by little. In fact, your earlier um, advert, with Prince William is also amazing because everything now we have to be careful. Really, we have to look after the environment for the future generations.
We could have you here for a week. We could just go 24/7 with you. It's
Now,
unbelievable.
now I have a sister, I have a brother, so anytime we can just
Uh,
go there.
I feel so lazy. I'm thinking, like, what have you been doing, Jacqueline? Like, get it together. It's like you're so incredible.
Amazingly, Dr. Jacqueline is, when the pandemic happened, there's a lot of people who were so depressed. We had to fly from Philippines to England with a suitcase, and now we ended up living back here again, in England. And I was so shocked with the opportunities. Everything is going digital. Everything is about the future. And I said, oh, I honestly, I have to tell you this. I have never incorporated too many companies than this pandemic, as opposed to what I had been doing in the last 20 years. Because there's just so much opportunity. And I think it actually teaches us a lesson that, in every adversity, there is always an opportunity. So I think, like whoever we are, whatever we do, and if it doesn't work, it's fine. Don't kick yourself so bad. At least you gave it a try. I think the worst is if you really been wanting to do something and you did not give it a try, then you're gonna be regretting it. So you might as well do it. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yeah, I'll do what I can whenever I can.
I love it. You are a dynamo, powerhouse.
Thank you. We'll try it.
How can people get in touch with you? We've been running your banner, but for people who are listening on the radio, what's the best way to reach out to you, and who should contact you?
Yes. Okay. Anyone, if you have some concern about Feng Shui or anything we talk about today, I'll be very glad to assist you. You can check on my website, maritesallen.com, or you can also follow me on my fan page on Facebook is Feng Shui Queen, Marites Allen, and then I have my shows every Monday. That's 8 a.m. New York, 1 p.m. London, 8 p.m. Philippines, every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So that's my way of connecting to my friends and my Feng Shui followers anywhere in the world.
How do we watch your show?
They can actually watch my show. It's all stored on YouTube. Just Google in Marites Allen.
Fantastic. I'm busily writing that down. Okay. All right. Thank you. Helena and Ian, anything else you want to share before we close out the show?
I think really just huge thank you to Marites Allen. I mean, amazing. I've really enjoyed it as well. Chatting away given us so much advice and knowledge, which is lovely. And I think, I think you will have inspired so many different people. I know I've been inspired. So
we will meet there in London.
So yeah, we look forward to connecting further. I think that's how we leave it.
Thank you. Ian is our guardian angel.
I'm glad you think so, Marites. There's very few that do, but
no, I mean, it's true, right? I think I would say we all have the good karma to meet today. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I know that our destiny is aligning. We wouldn't be here without the blessing from above. So thank you greatly. I know this is just the beginning of bigger things to come.
Absolutely. I think we're going to have some fabulous opportunities working together. Helen and I are very excited about that. And when you finally land back in London, we were thinking about coming to Italy, but it was an excuse. But anyway, it'll be lovely to see you again soon. And again, for anyone, can I also say in London, for anyone who wants to have a children's party, this is the lady.
You have to see Ian in action. Oh my God, he is superb. I was shocked how patient he was with all these girls screaming and running around. I'm telling you, Ian, hats off to you. I don't know how you manage it.
I bet Ian would, and I mean this really seriously, I bet you would make a great Santa Claus. I'm serious.
In a past life, this one has tried to get me dressed as a Santa Claus.
Yes, I have made Ian into many people actually.
Wouldn't that be fun for the holidays if you wore a Santa Claus suit? I would love it.
I see.
I think Helena, we have to do something with Ian this Christmas.
I'm not quite sure where that's going, but I think.
Well, we can start with Prince George and Princess Charlotte, right?
Okay.
Holidays.
Yeah, of course.
It's the big you brought. Sorry, because I know we need to close in, but Marites, you brought tremendous value to that party that day. And do you know what? The two special things that I remember about that day was meeting you, first of all.
Likewise.
That was fabulous. But also, do you remember that young girl who came in and she wasn't dressed in a party dress?
Right.
And she had all the struggles in her life. And we both made sure that she won plenty of the prizes as well, just so that you can win in life. And to me, that was the best part of the day.
It was really a good call. It was because of you, Ian, actually, who picked it up. That, this kid was like, she was nearly in tears. And then, because Ian was the judge. And she became very different when Ian, said, you're actually the winner. And she became like a different person. Like she was positive. Like, hey, I won. Like, I can really do it. So giving that, like, positivity to the kid is amazing, So thank you, Ian.
Bless you.
Lovely story. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. JACALYN, thank you so much. I am so excited to be back.
Yay! Well, we're going to chat backstage with you just as soon as we get off the show. I just want to make one more comment that I think is kind of interesting. One of the comments that I showed was from Mike Armstrong. Do you remember that? He just said hi.
Yes.
So I don't remember who told me about the Clubhouse app, but I went on the Clubhouse app and there was this room, and the name of the room was Screw the Big Rooms, and it's Mike's room, and he was running it 24/7. And I popped in there, and Ben Chai was there, and so I kept coming back because I wanted to hear what Ben had to say. And so then I think as a result of me meeting Ben, then Ian, so I don't know how that worked, but then you reached out, and then so on and so on. And now, Marites, you're here, and Helen I met obviously from Ian, but Mike, I haven't heard from Mike in a long time, and he dropped in today on the show. Isn't that kind of strange? Fortuitous. It's like
it's the right karma today. It's the right Feng Shui today, isn't it? They're creating positive powers.
Yeah.
Reconnection is phenomenal. It's lovely to reconnect as well, isn't it?
It really is. It's wonderful. All right, I'm going to close out the show, and then we'll be backstage, and we can have a chat for a few minutes if that sounds great. And everybody, it's been great having you here. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.